So did you get a walkthrough? Somebody asked you to give them a price for a commercial business, but you don't know what to do in your cleaning business, how to get that right price? Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. My name is Clyde Morrison.
I'm Shireen Dickens.
And this is the Business of Cleaning, where we help business owners who are cleaners go from self-employed to CEO. Today we're talking about how to price a job after a walkthrough. If you haven't seen our walkthrough video, make sure you go check that out. But in this video, we're going to be talking about, okay, you went through a walkthrough and now you want to price it. Right? How do we price the video and the walkthrough, and why is it so important to price that walkthrough?
Well, number one, don't go price any videos, okay? That is not going to get you paid at all.
Not at all.
At least not in this business.
Okay.
So when we're pricing walkthroughs, one of the first things I want to touch on is that as cleaning business owners, when we go into jobs, sometimes we're pricing off the top of our head. We'll look around and say, yeah, I'll do this for $200. Yeah, I'll do this for $150. And you have no base for where that number actually comes from. So I want us to develop a base of where this number comes from. So how I come up with my hourly rate for commercial jobs, this is what we're doing specifically right now. You can apply this to residential as a per cleaner per hour, but we're talking about commercial now. So I will take our cleaners' hourly rate. So for instance, my guys are at $20 per hour, so we'll use that for an example. So we take 20 per hour. Normally we would say, okay, I pay my cleaner 20, I'll charge you 30 per hour, that's that. I don't want us doing that because we are not going to price in enough to profit. And if we are not profiting, we are not doing the best by our company.
Why are we in business?
Right, we're not, this isn't volunteer work. To be able to provide jobs, to be able to do all of the things that we do, we need to be able to price competitively and properly. And this is what we're talking about today. We don't want to overprice, we don't want to underprice. We want to cover our own tails and profit. So this is how I do this. I'll take the hourly rate for the cleaner, which is $20. We'll add in 20% for payroll. Payroll expense is something that you just don't think about when you're pricing a job.
Definitely.
Normally, like I said, you'll be like 20 per hour, I'll charge you 30, I make $10 per hour, I'm good to go. If I can do that for 100 hours, I've made this amount of money. The math seems simple, but if you're not pricing in different things like payroll, you will be cutting yourself short every time. So the first thing I'll do is I'll add 20% for payroll, which brings me up to $24. $24 per hour is our base operating. I've taken my hourly, I've added in payroll. This is how much it will cost me for this hour to provide this job if the cleaner just shows up. Not with any supplies, not with the uniform on, not on time or anything, they just show up. So now we're at $24 because I've added in $4, which is 20% of 20. That is our operating. Once we get to that, I want us to add in our overhead. So what does overhead entail? Overhead says that for every hour of work that you provide, you have to provide supplies during that hour. Your cleaner is wearing a uniform that you have paid for. Your cleaner, you may have provided transportation for your cleaner to get to and from the site. Overhead is basically all of the other expenses that work into our hour of service that you don't see right then, right? So we want to add that in just to make sure that we're at least breaking even when we're pricing this. If we go in with just a 24 an hour, I haven't counted any overhead. So if I provide one broom, one mop, or one Metro card, or gas money, depending on where you are, I've broke even, or I've even lost money on a job. Okay, so with overhead, I like to add in anywhere between 10 and 15%. The reason that the number varies is because all of our overhead is going to vary. I have an office space in New York City that adds in $2,000 a month rent into my overhead. I have to price that into every single job. If you don't have an office space, you may not need to add in so much overhead. but we all have overhead. Don't at any point not add in a number. If you have more than maybe 10 employees, I would add at least 12% to your overhead. If you have less than 10 employees, I would add 10% to your overhead. I don't want this number to price you out of any kind of contracts, but again, I just do want you to cover your own tails for your overhead expenses. So we're at 24, and I'm going to add in 12% for the overhead rate, which gives me about $2.60 just an estimate, let's say $2.66. So now that brings us to $26.66 per hour. This price, again, is the bottom line break-even number. If you charge under that, you're going to lose, because for every hour you must pay payroll expenses and you must pay overhead. So now that 26 and change is the actual bottom line number. That's the least you can charge per hour of your service and break even. I always like to see what that number is so that I know what my bottom line is when negotiating a contract. So we're at that number. We've added in 20% for payroll. We've added in 12% for profit. I mean, not for profit. We've added in 12% for overhead. Now we want to add in our profit. This is where we make our money. You can determine your own profit. I like to see my profit at 25% for a commercial job and 40% for residential. I can take a lower profit for commercial jobs because of the frequency.
Yeah.
Normally, we've signed a 6-month contract, a 1-year contract, and it guarantees me longer work, so I can accept a lesser profit. With residentials, I like to do 30 to 40% profit because
there's no guarantees.
There's no guarantees. Most of them start off as a one-time. We want to convert them into recurrings, but if not, we want to make sure that we are making enough money to make it worth our while.
Exactly.
Why do we need that extra space on the job? Why do we need 25 to 40%? If you don't add this in, you can't even cover for any kind of mistakes or any kind of issues which will come up. Cleaners will call out sick. Cleaners will be running late. Things will happen that you will have to replace it with another cleaner, show up yourself if you're still working, or whatever means you have to go through. It's going to cost money for you to do so. None of the actions that you have to take to rectify a situation in the cleaning business are going to be free to you. So you always want to price in enough money for you to have a little leeway to make mistakes, and also for your business to be profitable. So again, I like to do 25% on commercial. I can even take less for commercials. You can come down to 20%, especially if it's a job that happens 5 days a week, 7 days a week. I'll take 20% on a job that's happening every day. Again, that's the difference with the residentials to the commercials to the residentials. So at the number we were saying, let's say $27 just to keep the math simple. And I add in 20%, so I'll be adding in $5.40 on top of that, which will bring me to
$32.40.
There you go. So now we have the number that I need to charge per hour for this commercial job in order for me to be profitable at 20%. So that says that I'm taking this space 5 days per week, maybe 2 or 3 cleaners or 1 cleaner, whatever the case is. I know that I need to charge
$32.40
in order for me to make a 20% profit every hour. So that is how we come up with our pricing with commercial. Oh, something I forgot to mention. We also want to, if you have to provide supplies for that job, you're going to push your overhead up by a percentage or 2 just to cover the cost of supplies, because we pay for supplies as cleaning owners, but we want to pass that cost on to our clients because they're the one requesting the service.
Exactly.
Okay.
Definitely. Right. Yeah, that was great. So if I get this right, you want to make sure that you're pricing for your cleaner, right? You're pricing for overhead. your pricing for payroll, and then you want to include your profit in there, right?
Yes, exactly. Those are the 4 components of bringing a price together.
Okay.
And it's important that we do each piece because as the CEO, it is our job to ensure that our business is profitable. It is our job to ensure that we can create and maintain the systems and platforms that run our business and to do so profitably so that we can then take these profits and reinvest, take these profits and retrain our guys, put it back into our business so our business puts out more for us.
So getting all of that from there, that was great. We got the 4 components of a pricing. We learned a lot. As the CEO, understanding that profit is what drives the company. Having money take out of the business, we don't want to be upside down. The story that I've seen that, sometimes you bid a job and you're breaking even or maybe even losing money, right? And that's the worst client.
Yes,
right?
Oh my goodness. I had this, funny story, I had this store in New York City. I had the contract for them. They made designer shades and curtains. And they were one of my first commercial contracts. I was so excited to take this contract. I priced it at, I think, $25 per hour. I said, hey, my cleaner makes 17. I'm gonna charge 25. Boom, that's it. I signed the contract, signed a 6-month deal. Turns out I was losing $400 a month. And since I had signed it, I had to service them for 6 months, losing $400 a month. Being so excited to accept the commercial contract, but not pricing properly. If I had priced properly on that, I would have charged a minimum of at least $35 an hour, maybe $33, something like that. And that difference in hourly would have taken that contract from negative for me to profitable.
No, and that's what we want on this channel, is just to be able to understand the components. Understanding that, right, the mistakes we made, a lot of things people don't understand. We ran a cleaning business, we still run a cleaning business, right? We still run our own cleaning businesses, and understanding that the mistakes we've made. So we just want to present that to you. Hope this gave you value. See you in the next video. We hope to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to talking to you again. Have a great day.